All right, welcome guys to the third episode of the Conflict Podcast. I am your host, Maldoshe, or Mordecai in English. I'm very excited about this episode. I have a new guest that I've known him for a while, and maybe 10 years, maybe 10, 11 years now. We've been singing together in a group or in a
different context.
Yeah, something different. And we've been knowing each other since. And I decided to have him on and ask him to be on and share his story about, his will and God's will and how did it turn out in his life. So I'm excited about that. So I'm excited to present to some and, to everybody. Woodsy Rosidor, how are you, buddy?
Hey, Mordecai. Thanks for having me. I am great. Happy to be here. This is exciting. It's been 10 years already?
Yo, this morning I was like, how long has it been? And I'm like, okay, I was 18, 19. I'm 29 now.
Yeah,
maybe 18. So I'm 11 years, I think.
Wow.
It's
But
getting old.
True, it's been a long time. We did sing together. That was a while ago.
It was a good time.
I
had a good time, yeah.
But we knew each other before singing together.
I don't know if we
At
did.
church.
Yeah, well, we're not at the part of the same church, so maybe in events or stuff like that. But like I knew you from your name, or for like, okay, the people that I know, but I know people that and vice versa. So I was like, okay, but that's when we really got to know each other.
True.
And I had a good time because I had for the first time in my life, where it was my first experience also. But
singing?
No, but having someone that sings.
Oh, okay, get it.
And and also that we have time, we have a good time, and you know how it is. So, but you've continued.
I did.
Path, and I stopped.
When we sang together was 10 years ago. Then I stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had another ministry where I was singing, but you weren't there, and that was cool. Then I stopped, and then I started again. Just when pandemic hit, so 4 years ago, and then I never stopped since then.
So I stopped, and then I went back into New ID, and then I stopped.
True.
To venture into other things, but so I'm excited to have you on. Again, the Conflict Podcast is a podcast that comes from a project that I'm working on, a movie that I'm very passionate about, and I decided to kind of go in a different direction just to bring some awareness and just what is the theme of the movie, which is the theme of the podcast, and that is the conflict that there is between the will of man and the will of God, and all the back and forth, the push and pull between that, and how ultimately at the end we can see that his will is the best, and that he is a good God. And so the purpose, I believe, is to share stories with guest individuals that have different stories, different background, to see that how does God work in an individual's life and how good he is. So I'd like to ask you, what does the conflict look like in your life? And if you can give us maybe a little background to that, and then,
Okay. Good question. Listen, when you first approached me about the podcast, I was like, yeah, podcast, let's talk, that's fun. Then the conflict and the movie, and I was like, I remember when you spoke, you told me about the movie a while ago. We went to eat.
4 years ago.
Yeah, we went to eat, and then you explained the movie, the vision. I was like, yeah, let's go for it.
We went to eat?
Yeah, we went to eat.
Okay, so that's a while. I thought you were talking about TC.
No. So, before that.
Okay, so that's Jackass Stores.
Yes.
So that's 18, 19 maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
That was a long time ago. So when you approached me for the podcast, I was like, yeah, I remember the movie, then the podcast. Okay, great. Then the conflict. Then you said, yeah. So I want you to come and talk about the conflict between your will and God's will. I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, this is getting serious.
Why are you getting in my business?
I want to have fun. Now you want to get in my business. Calm down.
So that's interesting. The conflict for me is, we all know that God's will is better than ours and all that. Mm-hmm. But I always had this fight between, can your will be in my comfort zone? Mm. So if your will is in my comfort zone, I have no issue. I'm good. There's no beef. Mm-hmm. But in my life, I find that the struggle was accepting that I needed to get out of my comfort zone and trust God fully. Mm-hmm. So I work for a bank. I've been working for that bank for 8 years, and I've been in customer service or in branch for the past 6 years and a half, I would say. Mm-hmm. And at some point, I was offered a job outside of the retail world, so outside of the branch for those that know banking, and into the head office, which was really scary because I didn't know anybody at that time in the head office. I didn't know what the role was, and when you look at the job description, nothing made sense. I was like, no. It was like event planning, analyzing numbers. You need to be good with spreadsheets. And I was like, nothing interesting. So I spoke to some of my leaders, some of my big brothers about the opportunity. And I was like, I don't know. They're offering me this job. And I don't know. It doesn't seem like me. It doesn't sound like what I'm comfortable or good at. And my big brother was telling me, you should pray on it because I see it for you. And I'm like, I could pray about it, but why would I pray about something I know I won't be comfortable in? Like, I'm already comfortable where I'm at. I'm winning like employee of the year every year. Like I'm good. Like I'm happy where I'm at. And he's like, pray about it. So I prayed about it. But you know those types of prayers where you're like, God, if it's your will, but like, how could this be your will?
Like if it's your will, but don't do it because no. Like
I don't see it making sense. Like I'm good where, like I said, I'm good where I'm at.
Yeah.
I have no complaints. I'm making money. I'm loving what I'm doing. I'm happy, you know. But I prayed, and slowly, God started opening my eyes to like just trust me, trust that wherever I'm bringing you on, I will be there with you, you know. But I was stressed. I wasn't understanding why I wasn't. And I'm somebody that like I'm gonna trust you, but show me the plan.
Yeah.
Which is not really faith, you know.
Yeah. Show me every step, and then I'll be like, okay, sure, let's do it. Let's do it then.
Give you the why. Give me
everything. Give me everything. I want literally every steps. That's me. Yeah.
So I went for the role. God said, you go. So I went for it. And you know what? It turned out to be one of the best decisions in my life because even though it was super uncomfortable, it taught me how to trust and have faith and just every step of the way turn to God. So what am I doing now? What am I saying now? Where am I going now? What am I putting on as? And you know what? That decision changed not only my ministry, my life, my the way I saw things. So this new job for people that don't know is when I started my weight loss journey because I now had time to go training, wake up earlier, do all the stuff about eating healthier, having the time to cook my meals.
Because I was asking myself like how? Because I look at your Instagram, I'm like, yo, this guy, first he don't sleep. I don't see him sleeping because he wakes up at 4 and then he goes and go run because for a little while you were running in the mornings.
I started again.
And you started again. Did you do the whole group stuff? Because you said you were.
I'm not doing groups. I'm doing it on my own because all the groups are in Montreal. I live in Laval, so I just run on my own.
I don't mind doing something, but
come and join.
Depending on how many miles.
5 miles. Okay. 5 miles a day. It's doable. But honestly, so the new job gave me time, gave me room to grow, to learn, to be, honestly, because when you're working in customer service and you're working in branch, you have to physically be there from 9 to 5. And although I still have a 9 to 5, it's a different type of 9 to 5. I'm not working in front of customers, so you have a job to do. Whether you do your 9 to 5 from 9 to 5 or you do it from 5 to 9, as long as the job gets done. If you want to take a break from 9 to 10 and go run or go to the gym, it's okay as long as your job gets done. Or if you have a meeting at 9, well, be there for 9. But if not, like you're kind of more autonomous with your time, with what you have to do, as long as the job gets done. So it allowed me to actually learn so many stuff on myself. Like I said, I went on a 1-year journey of weight loss. I was cooking my meals. I wasn't cooking my meals. I was catering. I just started cooking now, but like a year ago, I wasn't cooking. I was catering and getting my food and eating. It sounds crazy, but in branch, I didn't have time to eat. I did have a break, but for those that know me, I'm a bit of a workaholic. So if I'm in front of a customer, I'm not going to say, I need to go take my break. No, I'm going to keep running around. So I was running around at work and never eating. Or when I did take the time to eat, it was junk food or whatever. So this new job gave me time, routine, structure, which helped me for my weight loss journey. That was one thing. But also in the new role, which for those that I don't know, so at the head office, my role is general analyst, which covers bunch of metrics, but I support all managers in different branch for Quebec, Atlantic, and Ottawa with their numbers, and I look at where are we at with different metrics and how can we get better. I also plan events. I do everything with colleague appreciation, customer appreciation, community investment. So whenever you see our logos in the market in Quebec,
that's you.
That it's not me. But
no, that's not.
It's not me. But I sometimes help.
You oversee.
Exactly.
Maybe, okay.
I oversee some of those stuff. So I it's not something that I knew.
Okay.
When I was in retail banking, that's all I knew. It was customer service. You want a credit card, this is the application, and that's it. And now I got to have like an ego view of what is retail banking and what is the support that my role offers to those people. And I was introduced to the world of event planning, which I didn't know anything about. Like I used to serve in youth ministry, like you did too. Like, we did some type of event planning, but it was like, with our budget, what we knew with our people. But now it's you're dealing with big numbers. It's you're dealing with executives that you have to host. You're dealing with you're the face of a brand that you need to there's a standard that you need to uphold. So it was much more different. And you know what? It opened up my eyes to things that I didn't know I liked, qualities I didn't know I had. And I think it's teaching me stuff for future ministry. Stay tuned.
Okay.
I think it's teaching me stuff for future years in ministry. And honestly, it was just the best thing for me just to trust God, even if I didn't know for what or where it was going to lead me. It just opened up doors. And now today I can say it was a great move. At that time, I wasn't sure.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know.
And every step of the way, I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
But now, 2 years later, I can say it was a good choice to just trust in the Lord.
And so how long did it take you to maybe so you got, I don't know if you got offered, but you saw the offer for the job, or maybe they offered you the job. How long did it take you between okay, I don't want to do it, I want to do it, and talking with your mentors and stuff, and then, okay, let me do it? Is it like a week, a month? Is it God hey, the window is closing? What is it?
So I was approached for one specific role. It took me, I think, 2 weeks to kind of go over, okay, do I want to take it? Then, so the role that they first approached me for, I actually wanted it because the head office is divided in different silos. The first job they offered me, I was super excited about it, actually. And within 2 weeks, I made the decision to apply, went through the interview process. I reviewed my CV, discussions, so on and so forth. Then from the interview, I waited a month, didn't hear anything about it. Then a month later, I was told I didn't get the job. So I was like, okay, so you came to get me and
I don't get the job.
You got me all excited and then we got a better candidate. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But in the interview, the girl said, so from the interview, I got a different feeling from you that the job I was offering you wasn't for you. You should be more in the other side, which is the job I'm doing now. You should be more in event planning. You're more of a people person. I see you doing conferences and training. And I was just like, yeah, I know. I wanted what you
wanted
said.
That. You gave it to someone else.
Don't try to tell me all these things. I'm like, no, give me back.
Yeah, don't soften me up. I'm mad at you.
I'm actually pissed.
You were pissed?
And she's saying all these things, and I'm just like, I understand, but what about that job?
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, no, not really interested. But then she still reached out to the manager of that new role that she wanted me to apply for. So the manager reaches out to me and she's trying to convince me, and I'm like, not really. Then she made her employee who was leaving call me and explain to me the role, and I was like,
I don't want to do it. Stop. Please stop.
I'm not interested. And that's when I started the praying and asking my big brothers and asking for my sister's opinion. What do you think about? And everybody was seeing it for me except me.
Wow.
And I'm like, but what are you guys seeing that I'm not seeing? So that's when I went into prayer time and God, but what is it about this role? What is it about what people see that I don't see? What do you want from me? And that's when I made the move. So that's from the 1 month that I waited and got refused to then being approached and then convinced into the new role. I think it's another month. So from the first approach, it's like a 2-month process of I won this role, I didn't get it, now you're offering me something else, I'm not interested, people are telling me go for it. Yeah,
that's interesting because I feel like if you don't have people around you that first know you, but also that are close to God and also want the best for you, and having those 3 combinations of things where you didn't see that for yourself, but maybe you should just venture in that and see what happens. Because to me, that the people around me was like, yo, maybe you should do this with your film and whatever. And like, maybe you should do this podcast. I'm like, I don't do that. I don't talk to people. I'm not really, and it is, I just started, but it is something that is so beautiful. And I love sharing these things with people. And I realized that if it wasn't for the people that are in my life, or the right people in my life, I wouldn't be here. And so I feel like for you, it's kind of the same where you have a strong core of people. And how do you feel about that? The fact that God gave you people, and when you're maybe a little bit too stubborn or whatever, He can speak to them and just like maybe just whisper something into their ears, and then now they're able to share something with you, and you'll be able to maybe receive it a little bit more, right? So how do you feel about that, like reality of you having close people? And maybe also, was it always like this? Like, did you always have someone or people in your life, a close circle, or did it grow over time? And yeah.
That's a tough one because I'm really hard-headed. I am really hard-headed in the sense that I'll pray and say, God, send me a sign. I'll get a sign. God, send me someone to tell me, and then someone will tell me, and I'm like, God,
not
tell me. I'm like going in circles about the ways that I want God to confirm something, and He's been really good and really good.
He's gonna be patient
and really loving. Yeah, because even though the people that, because I think when God sends people to talk to you or confirm anything, He'll take somebody that you trust, that you believe in, that is that makes sense, right? So when He was sending me the people, like I knew that they knew me. Yeah. I knew that their words had values for me. I think it was just me being scared. I was so scared of, even though what you're saying makes sense, from what I'm hearing, it makes sense. Like it could be true. You're saying something into me. I believe what you say. For me, it was just the sense of, why would I go into something that is unsure?
Unknown as well. You don't know nothing.
Like, I don't know anybody at this new head office. They know me because they've heard that I've done great things in branch. So why do you want to take me out of branch? I'm doing great things here. Like, it's safe here, So it's not that I didn't value the people around me or what they had to say or had to bring, or it was more getting over that fear. And again, I bring it back to my faith being on, what could I measure? What could I see? What could I control? Because I'm a big control guy. So it's like, now I'm like, I don't have the control anymore. People are telling me, I see this in you. God is telling me, trust me. So I'm like, okay, where's my control in all this? Where can I just grab something and say, okay, so what if that doesn't work? Because that was also another thing. When they offered me the job, I was like, okay, if I don't like it, can I just go back to my old job? And they were like,
no, that's not how it works.
I'm like, because how come I get to be on a probation, but you don't get to be on probation? Can I put you on probation? Like, can I
see if I like it? If not, then because you told me you see me doing this. If it's not paying out, like, that's on you. Get me back my other job. Yeah, I get it. I agree.
So yeah, I had to learn to let go of the control and trust God, trust the people around me. It's a tough one, man. Yeah, it's a tough one to just not being able to see something, but trust that the people around you and God in you is with you. Right? It's not just like, here's the plan, trust the plan. No, it's like, I have a plan. Trust me.
Yeah.
That's something.
And so the fear that you're talking about, like, did you, the decision to go, let me take that job, was the people around you and you praying helped you get over the fear, or you did it in spite of the fear? Like, did you like, okay, like, I'm scared, but I'm still going to do it? Or it was like, okay, I got over that fear. Now that I'm secure, or I feel safe, let me do it.
No, I think I still had the fear, because I'm thinking of my first couple of months in a new role. I was still acting as if I had to prove something. I was still acting as if I didn't belong. I was still acting as if I was on probation.
So what do you mean by that?
They came to get me, right? So they had heard that, Woody is doing great thing in branch. Woody has disability. Woody has disability. Woody is good at that. So they came to get me because I had what they needed at their head office. So I didn't, for that new role, that not the first one that I was refused for, but the second one that they offered, I didn't have an interview. So I met with the big boss and he said, oh, I heard all these great things about you. So not supposedly, but like, I heard that you're going to be coming on my team. So I just want to get to know you.
Wait. So you didn't get any interview. So basically they offered you the job, and where someone else would have had to maybe go and interview once, twice or whatever, they're like, hey, we're just waiting on you to get in the office and start working because we want you.
Exactly.
Okay, so
because
that's
the first role they offered me. I did the interview, and so in that interview, that manager said you belong in that team.
Okay.
So she spoke to the manager of that team and said you should just hire this guy.
Okay.
Because I was going to hire him, but he doesn't fit. He would be better in your team basically. So they trusted her word for it. And when I was entrusting my people's words for it, whatever. So when I got into the role, I didn't get an interview. I didn't know the people over there, but they knew everything about me
you.
because they had been talking about me.
okay.
So I was still trying to prove myself, thinking, I don't know them. I don't know why I'm here. People say I fit here. I belong there, but I had this guilt in me that I'm like, I didn't do an interview. Am I really good for this? Like maybe they saw something in me that I don't really have. I don't even know what they're seeing in me, but I'm just trusting God and trusting the people around me. So I was like working as if I had to prove myself, and that's heavy. Like I don't know if you've ever done it.
Yeah.
When you when you're trying to prove yourself over and over and over again, it's like you're putting on a show to say that I'm enough. But like people already said you're enough, so you're doing it for nothing.
Yeah.
You're doing it for yourself. So you're doing a show waiting to get approval for someone, but they've already given you the approval. So you're waiting for something that's not coming. Because you already got it. You got it from God. You got it from the people around you, and you even got it from the managers because they said we want you, we got you. So who are you proving it to?
Well, that's what's crazy is like, so God approved you. God sent you, like, opened that door for you. And now you get that job. You feel like you're not worthy of it. And you're saying like you don't even know what it takes to do. You don't even know that. And yet they are saying that they're seeing it in you. And that to me tells me that like that's God just like when he calls you for something, he's gonna qualify you along the way. And even if you're like, yo, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't even like, but he's like, yeah, I don't care about that because I already approved you. Everything is ready. You just need to step in. Literally. And that feels like you just needed to step in. And now that you did, and you said something I believe in the beginning where you said, so you didn't know how that job or the requirements, that's not something that you do. You're a people person. So you're going to be doing like customer service. So now that you're in that new position, how long did it take you to learn what to do? And now that you have those abilities, are you able to now use them outside of work? And how does it benefit you in any way if it does?
So when I started a new role and I was learning what it was, I discovered that instead of having to learn the role, I just had to be. So compared to working in branch where you have procedures for everything, somebody wants to, I don't know, open a new checking account, you open procedure, opening checking account, step 1, step 2, step 3. In my role right now at the head office, there's no procedures. It's just make it happen. Find a way.
Just do it.
Just do it, right? So for example, when I got there, it was, okay, we need to plan an event at the casino for 50 people. We need catering services. We need this and that. And I'm just like, okay, that was it. That's the assignment. Just
you do it.
Exactly.
You make it happen. So that's crazy.
That's when I had to pull from my youth ministry experience from, okay, so I guess I'll go on the internet, casino, okay, how do you call? How do you book? Okay, and then you have to think about the experience that you want people to have when they get there, because my employer is big on like colleague experience, so how we want the colleagues to feel when they come, right? So I had to think of when I was in youth ministry, I had to think, how do I want the youth to feel about this event, right? I want them to feel comfortable. Do we want to have chips? Do we want to have Pepsi? Do we want to have juice or whatever? So it was the exact same thing. So being in the role made me realize that Pastor Michael that says that all you have is all you need.
Mm-hmm.
So what I had as as experience, as knowledge or anything was all I needed. Obviously, I learned along the way, but I mean, when they said we see it in you, is what you have inside is already enough to start.
Yeah.
And then wherever you can't do anymore, we'll just guide you. We'll help you. We'll teach you what's missing. So I'm not sure I'm answering the question, but
no, you are. Like, that's so much knowledge, and I believe people are loving you. They're gonna love it because that's amazing to me.
Great. So in the role, I discovered myself that, oh my God, I know this. Oh my God, I know that. Oh, I think I could do this. And I'm discovering that I have all these past experience over the years of my life was all serving now.
Mm-hmm.
And who I was as a whole person was useful for every little thing. Because while I'm thinking, okay, for example, going back to the casino, what do I want them to feel? Then I'm like, I don't know. And then my manager would say, but how would you want to feel? And I'm like, oh, that matters? Yeah, because you're a colleague. So if you were winning this challenge, how would you want to feel? Then I'm like, well, I feel like something simple like, oh, the lights in the room should be green because my employer's logo is green. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So we'll have the lights green. Okay. So I call the casino. Yes, for the night, can the lights be green? Yeah, sure. We can also have green cups if you want. So it's like I'm saying whatever, just as example to say, like, think of all the things that matter for you. Bring them onto the table. Like, bring your whole person, right? Like, we want everything about you. So, yeah.
Okay, so I love what you said. You said you don't have to do, you have to be. Basically, they wanted you to be in that position. You don't have to do things, you just have to be. And I believe, like, that's what God wants us to be because, well, we are human beings, so not human doing. So just be. And that, I feel like that's a revelation. When you get that.
Human being.
Yeah, like I heard that somewhere. It's not me. That's not me. I promise. I'm not going to take credit. But it's the reality. Like, you're called to just be. And as you said, along the way, they'll help you. People are going to help you and they're going to bring whatever is missing so you can just continue that journey. And I feel like basically what they did for you, they didn't like let you hang and dry and just like, hey, let's just do it, and then like you're gonna figure it out. They help you even if they're not your close circle. That outer circle is also helping you in your journey, and that's positive. I feel like that's amazing because sometimes we're like, yeah, I don't need. Some people are like so prideful that like in your position they would be like, yeah, I'm not gonna request someone to help me or anything like that. I'm just gonna figure it out on my own, and then you crash and burn. But I believe you are such an open guy and you're not prideful in that way that, yes, they gave you the position, but like, if I need help, I'll say it.
You know what? I'm the opposite. I'm the annoying guy that asks all the questions.
All the questions.
I'm not sure about this. What do you think about this? Like, can I have your opinion?
Yeah.
Can you show me this? What do you think? So I ask a lot of
like
questions.
I will look dumb and I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'd rather ask the question than being like, oh, I should have.
Yeah.
So I'll ask all my questions, and once I have a big picture, I'm like, okay, good. Now I can go. And even when I go, I'm like, can I get your opinion on this? Until like my manager or my colleague would say, yeah, you got it. You could just go now.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing I love, so basically, because that's something that I've learned as well, especially like church, right? You are in the youth ministry or any ministry at church. We don't know how valuable it is wherever you are. Like, you know, you might be in the kids ministry and you're doing whatever. And you're like, I don't like it, but they have me here and I don't want to do it. Or you're in the worship team or wherever. And you don't see the value of just doing the work and what you learn because unfortunately, maybe nobody tells you that, right? And I realized for myself at some point, it was like, the work that I was doing at church, in the worship team, it is something that is basically the same thing as movie production. Yeah. Right? You have a timeline, you need to produce this, and you need to show it to the world. So you need to rehearse, you need to do this, all that, and then you need to perform. Now the performance is different. It's not on a live set, but it's still a performance that is captured on a camera. And so I feel like, how do you feel about that? Like the reality of, you need to actually enjoy the process of where you are. Even though you don't see it as valuable because it is information, it is stuff that you'll need that will be so easy to you to do at some point that people, as you said, they saw it in you and it was already in you, right? But it was something that you said that was planted in you like 10 years ago. So how you feel about that?
Well, I have to give a shout out to my dad, because my dad growing up always told my sister and I, it's a saying in French, I'm like translating in my head.
You can, I mean.
No, I got it. So it's love what you find while you wait to find what you love. So love what you find. So love what you got.
What you got.
Until you find what you love.
I never heard that.
Yeah.
That's okay.
He said it over and over and over again. And you know, like Haitian parents, because I'm Haitian.
Yeah. Shout out.
When they're stuck on something.
Yeah.
So now I can say that, like, you know what, it had a good impact in my life. But growing up, I was like, okay, like I get it. Like eat your rice and beans, because you have to love what you have.
Yeah. Wow. And everything. So
everything. Love what you have until you find what you love. So going back to your point, serving at church taught me a lot of things and made me who I am today. And it's making me the successful, if I could say, employee that I am today, because all the learnings that I've got in church, it wasn't a job, right? We were serving. Is serving me now. And in church, I used to be in charge of the media team, like assistant. And I had a big team of like maybe I think 30 or 40 people, and of all age, mostly older people. And I was, how old? 20 at that time. And I was like in charge of a team of daddies, mommies, like some young people, but not like at your church. My church was mostly old people. So going to a management role at the bank, and in the interview when they said, oh, do you have management experience? I'm like, well, at church.
Now that I think of it. Yeah.
At church, I was managing a group of 30, 40, like older people, media team. Like, you know, they weren't paid, but they were volunteer. And for the corporate world, it's actually more, they see it as valuable, the volunteering work that you do, because how can you motivate a team of people that are not paid?
Yeah.
So how can you make them follow you and listen to you and do like come? So they came Sunday after Sunday and they listened to the rules and this. And
you're like, yeah.
But they weren't doing it for me.
Yeah, but
I'm not going to see anything.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to say, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did. Of course. I did my job. Yeah.
So to your point, we have to realize that everything that we do in life, that we are in life, and even our experience in church, everything is valuable, and there's learnings to take out of everything. And even in my new church now, I'm not leading a team or anything, but my past experiences from work, from church, it's all like serving me now, because I have ways of serving, I have standards, I have how do you say it?
What is it in French? Maybe I can. Oh, you don't have it in French or English, basically.
I have a blank.
You can come back if you don't.
Methodology.
Oh, no. Yeah, no. I don't know that word.
Anyways, I have a way of working that I have learned over the years that is helping me now.
I'm looking for it now.
Out.
I'm like, what's the word? Okay, let me let that go, because I'm like, I need to find it.
All that to say, like, we're all different, right? So all our experiences is making us stand out. And sometimes I find we look to someone and we're like, oh, they're so great, I want to be like them. But you don't know what they've been through to be who they are today, right? So I'm learning over the years, and I'm still doing this today, that everything that happened in my life happened for a reason. Everything I've learned is for a reason, and it's making me into the man I am today. And I have to embrace that. I have to embrace every learning opportunity I had and every growing opportunity I had, because this is what makes me who I am today.
I love it. And so do you feel like, is there something that you in this journey that you've been on, you regret? As far as the decisions maybe, or something that you wish you did sooner, or something like that? Anything?
Sooner, yes, because I'll go back some time in my head and I'm just like, for example, now people are like, oh, Woody, you're so disciplined.
Yeah.
But I discovered that recently, and I'm just like, why wasn't I disciplined at school? I could have been one of the first one in class had I known I had this capacity of being disciplined, you know? But again, everything happened for a reason. I don't think it would be easy to say, yeah, I would want to change that and this and that. But like I said, everything happens for a reason. So if I were to change that, if I were to be a number one in school back in secondary or high school.
Yeah, high school. we're from Quebec, so it's yeah, I know.
If I were to have been like one of the first one in high school, maybe I would have been a different personality today. Maybe I would have been in a different field. So I'm not for like I see it like the movies where you're going back to the future or in the past.
In the past,
and I can't see myself because then I'll change the
you'll
future.
Change your sort of,
I feel like going back and changing something would change the future, and I have to believe that God intended for my life to being like this. Like God wanted my life to be the way it is right now. So I had to go through for sure there's things that I could have skipped. There's mistakes that I could have, but even at that, there's learnings from the mistakes, right? So I think I'm happy with where I'm at. And it's just realizing that the same way you would want to change things in the past, keep that as a motivation, not to make some stupid mistakes now, right? So think before you act. What would happen if you do this or that? Pray, go to God, ask for opinion, ask for ask your bigger brothers or sisters, so
yeah. And so now do you feel like, now that that's kind of your testimony, that's amazing. Do you feel like God's will is the conflict between the two, like his is better? Well, yes, I know it's not, but I can ask, is it easier now? Like, do you find yourself in a position now, maybe in past year, where you're like, okay, he's asking for stuff, or he's directing me and you're like, no.
I wish I could say it's easier now. I'm still hard-headed.
Yeah, I know. I'm like you. I'm just like you.
So, no, it's not easier now. It's easier to recognize the patterns. That's easier. So it's easier for me to be like, okay, let's say before I would ask for 5 proof.
Now it's 2.
God. Now it's like 3.
So like it's not even a big drop off. It's 2. Yeah, okay, so well,
it's getting
progression, not perfection.
Exactly. Yeah. I like that progression.
Yeah, that's not me, That's,
all the quotes are.
that's not me.
So it's not easy. It's getting better though. Okay. It's getting better. I'm getting better at recognizing that, like, okay, I'm uncomfortable. Why am I uncomfortable? Because I don't have the control. Okay, where is this coming from? Okay. So it is coming from God. Okay, is it? Because also I believe that God can say, I don't know, you are to have this car. It doesn't mean it's now. It could be in 10 years. So depending on the people, I think God will give you the information in advance or just when it's about to happen, because he knows that you won't be able to handle what he has to give you. Yeah. And I'm one of those. Oh, yeah. I'm like, okay, you told me this, but what's next? So when is it happening? How is it happening? Do you need my help to make it happen?
Because I'll do it now.
I'll do it now.
Get out of the way.
It's so bad. Thank you for your patience, God.
You're patient.
It's not easy, but I'm able to see my own patterns and to recognize, like, okay, God is talking. Listen, write. I'm still struggling with it, but writing what I'm receiving from God, to be able to be like, but because when I get to but is it really, go back to what you wrote?
Write it down and make it plain. Bible says that.
Yeah. But I find writing it's even scarier, because then it's like, but when if it doesn't happen, did I not hear it well? Like,
that's the sovereignty of God.
Lord. Yeah.
Okay. And are the people around you, I know like all your close friends and stuff are Christian, but are they inspired by this whole process, or even like your colleagues, like the people that are around you, are they inspired, or are they like, yo, like, you are allowing me now, you're unlocking me to do the same thing, which is to take a step of faith in something that I'm scared to do?
Good question.
That just came in right now. I ain't gonna lie. I'm just gonna tell you right now.
We didn't discuss that before. So my colleagues are not Christian. But like they'll say things like, "Oh, things are always easier for you. Oh, you're always so lucky. Oh, you're like so
not luck.
I'm like, it's not luck. It's me. It's not me. So that's that. My family, Are they inspired? Yes, they do. Like my sister will tell me like, "Oh, we're proud of you. We're proud of the steps that you're making. We're happy and like we're proud of the men you're becoming." So they'll say, but they've never said like, "We're happy that you're following the voice of God." Like,
No, but I'm saying like in the fact that because they have a view of, they actually know what's going on, right? So now because they're saying you were scared, you did it.
Oh yeah.
Boom, now your ear is like,
I told you so.
Yeah.
No, that for sure I get. I have 4 sisters. I do get the "I told you so." I do get but like in a nice way, right? So they're like, "I'm proud of you," like, or they'll say, "Do you remember how you felt when that happened? Do you remember what you thought when you had the opportunity? How closed off you were? Keep that like memory so that when it happens again, you know your patterns. You know how like how to go about it. You know how to make the right decision because." I think it's not bad to take the time to think, but sometimes if the time that you take is like filled with unbelief or like your faith is not strong enough, I believe that God could just say, "Well, you're not ready, so I'll just go another route," right? So I believe that God was patient with me within that 2 months that I was like fighting.
Yeah,
they could have hired somebody else, right? Like the job posting was there, like it was on the job opportunity website. But it waited for me. So to answer your question, yes, I do get from my siblings like, "Oh, I'm proud of you. Like, look at what God did in your life." For my coworkers, it's more like they call it luck, which I'm just like, one day you'll understand. But yeah.
Okay, well I love it. I love the whole thing. I didn't know where you were going because I didn't know your story like that. But I just love how God is in control of it all. And how, that's just the beginning, right? And then future will, because you said something in the beginning of like something ministry, whatever, but I don't know what that meant.
I don't know either.
Okay, nobody knows that.
Oh, I don't want to know.
Nobody knows. Okay, so let me cut it off right now. Let me not ask. So guys, like, that's what I meant. And like, boom, start now. No, but okay, so I love it. I think, first of all, I'm grateful for you to come here and share your story because it's a vulnerable thing to do. Some people may want to keep that information, everything, tucked in, and they don't want to talk about it, but you decided to share. And I love it. I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful to see, and I'm excited to see what comes for you. You're inspiring to me, by the way. Like when I see you on IG and stuff, like, yo, this guy is doing it. Like, he is like what I want to get to, that level of discipline and stuff. No, it's true. I'm going to give you your flowers because some people don't want to do it. I don't know if they tell you that on IG and stuff, but I'm inspired by you and I'm grateful to see your journey and to learn about it now. It's even more, even more grateful about it. And so before we finish, I want to know, do you have any things that are coming, that you're doing, ministry, whatever, that you want to share? And you can share your IG and stuff. I'll put it in the link. That's new to me. That's it. It's like, I don't see the link here. I'll put your information as well. But do you have something to share before we finish?
What's to come?
Ministry wise, or
stop it there.
No, I'm not even talking about. See, I'm not. See, because I was starting. I'm saying like because I know you sing.
Trying to set me up.
No, okay. Let me.
Well, I will say that this new job since the pandemic, because I started a year after pandemic, opened up doors for me to serve at a new level. I got so many new opportunities to serve with different artists. I got to serve with Denamwana, Jean. What's his name there?
So many. Forget the names.
Stop it. So I got the opportunity to serve with so many people, and I'm I never knew before or understood, and I think Jonathan said it on the last episode. I never knew that serving in ministry could be like this could be life.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, hence why I said stay tuned. Like, who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
There's nothing planned right now.
Yeah, just stay tuned. Really, like, I don't know. I'm serious about that.
That's all I know. But I'm discovering that, okay, ministry could be something.
And it's fun. It's not.
It's fun and scary.
Okay.
You're like, conflict could also be the struggle.
Yeah.
Like, the conflict is the struggle. Yeah. So it's fun, it's scary, but it's an option. So I'm discovering this new path of serving. I love serving, and I'm also seeing how what I'm doing in my job right now could serve in ministry
as well.
Yeah. So the same way church helped me getting where I'm at.
Wow.
This can get me back to
church. You can build the church even more. I love
build
it.
The church and help us like elevate the standards and just serve God in a new dimension of excellence.
I like that, what you just said. That's so cool. You can give back to the church because the church gave you so much already, actually. So now you're able to give even more. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Well, thank you for your time. I think that's it. I loved it. I was like, do I want to keep it going? Like, nah, let me just keep it as, what's the word?
Authentic.
Yeah, as possible. And so I'll put all your links. Oh, I have one question, by the way. Yeah. So how about content creation? I love it. Is it something that you're like?
You know what? Content creation, I started at my birthday last year. So June 5th.
So those basically get ready for next year because he wants to gifts all month long.
I started a year ago because at work, so my new job right now, they paid for me to take a class where it was like, okay, you're gonna learn how to speak in front of people because we might need you to like be a spokesperson for some whatever. So they paid for me a month of like class to learn how to speak in front of people. Once the class ended, it ended like the last week of May. The week after, I started talking on Instagram every morning, and I was already so June I started my stories, but I started like running in April. So April, May I ran and I took this class, and then June I continued running, but then I just started documenting it, and people were like, "Oh my God, this is so interesting!" And for me, it wasn't a big thing. I just ran 5K, and then I would talk about my journey and how I woke up at 4:30 to run, and people were really interested, and people were like, "Oh, we want more of your stories." So then I just started. If you look at my archives from last year, I posted every day.
Yeah, I remember because I was tuning in. I was. I
don't know like how much time or inspiration I had, but I wasn't forcing it. I was just like, if I have something to say, I'll say. If I have nothing to say, I won't say anything. And till this day, that's what I do. Sometimes I do a whole week without posting. And then I'll do a whole week because I'm going on a trip with my dad. And I'm just like, oh, this could be fun. And people are like, we're here. We're not missing one story. So I'm just like, okay, great. Tune in. Yeah. So
that's how.
I think it's easy for me because I'm making it fun. I'm not forcing it. I'm not scheduling anything. I know that to grow, you should schedule and think and have a plan. I'm just there to be like we said. Yeah. I'm not a doer. I'm just being. So as I have inspiration, as I have things to share, as I have things to give, I give. And if I don't, I have nothing on. Okay.
Well, I'll put your stuff and on the link below so people can just follow that journey. And so thank you for your time. Thank you for you guys' time. And I'll see you guys on the next episode of the Conflict Podcast. All right. Bye.